With me here in the studio, Barak, who's Middle East analyst at RUSI, that's the Royal United Services Institute here in London. And Barak, I mean, everybody looking at this situation very concerned about the way that the conflict in Syria is spreading outwards. I mean, is it too late already? In a sense, it already has.
The international community really has had a laissez-faire approach with Syria. As a result of that, over 70,000 people have been killed. There's been huge refugee crisis. The problem now is that it has a regional dimension. You see it spilling over from Syria to Lebanon, with Lebanon's ethnic and sectarian dynamic of their communities echoing that of Syria. And more broadly, it's serving as a centrifugal force that will just attract the sectarian nature of the region into Syria and Lebanon.
Was this sort of almost ignored or not really talked about until we saw really quite obviously what was happening in Qusair, with Hezbollah actively saying they are supporting President Assad's forces and this battle raging really focused on that particular city?
I think that the Hezbollah's leader that suddenly owned, initially he was in denial of Hezbollah's involvement on the part of the Syrian leader Assad. Now he's come and he's just revealed his intentions. The reason for this isn't simply because loads of Hezbollah fighters have been seen being buried, but it's also because it's reflecting what Senator McCain actually said in Israel the other day, when he said Assad may stay and the status quo may be tenable in the region. And if the status quo is tenable and the civil war continues, what may happen is you'll have fighters flowing in, sent from Iran, from the Gulf, from Iran, from Iraq, from Lebanon, from across the entire region. So this is really not simply a civil war within Syria and Lebanon. This is really a Sunni-Shia civil war throughout the region.
Are we not seeing that to some extent already? We've had reports of all sorts of foreign fighters forming the rebels fighting President Assad. I've heard about Chechens being involved, all sorts of countries.
One is the League of Righteous People and Kateb Hezbollah, which is an Iraqi sister organisation to Hezbollah from Lebanon, cultivated by the Iranian regime, that speaks of Syria as being its 36th district. For Iran, it's imperative that it doesn't lose its grasp of Syria, because it provides for its strategic reach, strategic depth. The Persian crescent, the Shia crescent that goes through the region into Lebanon goes through Syria. There's no way. Well, we saw an Arab Spring. The Iranians were seeing an Islamic revolution, and they've been manipulating it in a very different way. We've had a very hands-off approach following the trends. The Iranians have been attempting to manipulate and mould events to their ideological ends.
Very, very briefly, just a few words. Is anybody winning the war in Syria?
I think there's a deadlock at the moment, and I think that's the most dangerous thing. In a deadlock, Iran can continue to manipulate their agenda there, and there can also be a proliferation of chemical and biological weapons.
We have to leave it there. Barak from RUSI, thank you very much.
Thank you.